Global War 36 enthusiast here with a video about understanding strategic rail movement. Let's say the Soviet Union wants to rail these three infantry from southern Belarusia up to Lithuania. The first thing we should note is that there's a difference in the rail gauge between Europe and the Soviet Union. Some other countries in the world, like Brazil or the Soviet Union, have broad rail gauge, as indicated by this black and yellow banded line. And most other countries, like North America, Europe, basically the default is this narrow gauge, indicated by white and black banded rail lines. So the Soviet Union can't rail across gauges like this. You have to stop at the end. If the Soviet Union was railing a bunch of units from Siberia and trying to get them to Lithuania, they would have to end next at the last rail line that has that same gauge, okay? Unless you develop improved logistics. This is one of the big advantages of improved logistics. It allows you to seamlessly rail across different gauges, and it doubles your strategic rail movement capacity. So let's say that the Soviet Union has developed improved logistics so they can strategically rail across different gauges, and their capacity is doubled. The rail capacity in the Soviet Union is only 2, but since it's doubled, it'd be 4, and now we could rail these 3 units across the gauge difference. But note that this rail coming into here with the Soviet Union, if they don't have Latvia here, you can see that this rail isn't connected to this rail here to get into Lithuania. But that's okay, because there's a rule 13.2.8. If a land zone has a border with a crossing railroad, the entire zone is considered to be covered by rail. So this concept is called jumping. So we're kind of jumping from this railroad over to this railroad, because the infrastructure in this territory is just considered to all be hooked up by rail. So these 3 units could definitely strategic rail here over to Lithuania. Now let's transition to talking about using rivers to conduct strategic rail movement. This is the Rhine River, and this is the Elbe. Okay, let's say that the Germans want to strategic rail this anti-aircraft gun from Berlin over to the Netherlands. But the Allies have conducted strategic bombing and have damaged the rail line between Western Germany and the Netherlands. What you cannot do is conduct strategic rail movement along a river and then jump to another river. Also, you couldn't conduct strategic rail movement, up through Berlin into, say, Bavaria, or just you got a rail connection right here. You can't strategic rail and then jump over to a river to make it the rest of the way. So 11.2 says it is not possible to combine railroads and rivers into one strategic rail movement. And you can't jump. You can jump with rail, but you can't jump with rivers. That part that I said earlier about 13.2.8, having a land zone have a border, railroad. Fuck this, I'm gonna start over again.